Okay, so I literally just got home from Horrorhound, Indianapolis, 2011. They changed the way how it was done from last year with the Clive Barker debacle. They had Feldman and the Boondock Saints in their own separate area. They're in the same giant room, but their own separate area. They had their main section for some of the vendors, and a few of the town around the periphery. And then the Mask Fest was its own like 3 rooms, all interconnected. So it's like this giant, hallway to walk through with phenomenal masks. They had people from Extreme Designs FX. If you recall, when I used to do when I had my old Green Lantern costume, the Downo mask came from them. So they had some amazing masks there. Pretty much, I was there for Sean Patrick Flannery, who was in Saw 3D. Yes, I've never seen Boondock Saints, and for that I'm eternally sorry. But the first we did when we got there, I say we, because it was me, a friend of mine who's a graduate student whose degree is in social psychology, a professor whose degree is in environmental psychology, and me, the chemist who has a background in biology and psychology. So as you can tell, the car ride from Lafayette to Indianapolis was entirely chock full of really deep discussions about psychology, movies, primarily movies, more with psychology. It was a phenomenal trip, I can discuss movies at a level, and when you're in a car with someone, you can discuss movies at a level that far supersedes what you can do. It's an amazing time. So like I mentioned, I was there primarily for Haim. Not Haim, I mean Feldman. I had got Haim a couple of years ago. So I was able to get this. I waited in line essentially a little over 2 hours for this. Now, when I got Haim was like a 3-minute wait. Like 3 to 5 minute wait. Most of it was him on the phone. Feldman, you essentially got in this giant line, and everybody who he had, you sat next to him when he signed your autograph. Because you could talk to him, then you got a photo. Asked how the count was going, he was like, "This is going pretty good, pretty good." Then he put the pen down and showed me his hand. He had blisters around his fingers from holding the Sharpie the whole time. And apparently, I thought I was going to be one of the few people to actually have a Corey Haim signed item for Feldman to sign, but when Haim was there a couple of years ago, that was the most popular item. So he'd signed it quite a few times. So by the time that was done, the Boondock Saints had gone to go do their photo shoot. So when we got back from having our lunch at Subway, eat fresh, we finally got to be in line, so we could finally get the Boondock Saints. Now, their line was like a third of the size of Feldman's. And all 3 of them were there. So I ended up getting my Saw 3D script signed by Sean Patrick Flannery. And I'll be honest, those guys were an absolute trip to meet in person. I mean, I really want to see the Boondock Saints out. They had such a fantastic time there. It was great. And I handed it to him, he was like, "This is what?" Because if you notice, it says Evolution 4. I get the script from Saw 3D. And he was like, "Oh man, I've never seen this version." So he signed it and even put his name down, Bobby Dugan, the character that he played. And then I got some photos taken care of for a buddy of mine. So Steve, 25 apiece, show me $75. So there you go, Steve. I actually got to talk to him for a little while. Now Norman Reedus, they are they'll begin filming Walking Dead Season 2 in June. So he was awesome to meet. And I actually had quite a lot of time to spend with Rocco. So this was personalized for you, Steve. And I'll be honest, these guys were having an absolutely amazing time. They were having a fantastic time, Hey, Feldman left for a while. And I was like, "You know where he went to?" Sean Patrick Flannery gets by his chair. "We think Feldman's out taking a deuce, okay? He'll be back in a while. Don't you have to deuce every now and then?" And then when Feldman showed back up, he had everybody who was in that line. He was like, "Hey, Corey!" He pointed to the crowd. Everyone screamed out, "How was your deuce?" So it was a good time for that, Christina Loken was there, and she had pretty much no line. The beauty about going to Horrorhound in Indianapolis as well as Cincinnati is you actually get normally to meet these people, it's like 25 bucks an autograph. Normally the photo is free. Unlike Wizard Universe, where it's 25 for an autograph, 20 for a photo. For 25, you get both for most people. And the little crafts they had and all that, it was done beautifully well this time. I think that expanding into multiple rooms made it so much better. If they do it again this way next year, it'll be for a really pleasurable experience. The mask section had so many mask vendors. It was just amazing to see the mask vendors they had. And this guy, clayguy.com had little like clay figures that he makes by hand. Pretty nice. Yeah, I'll give him props for that. Then they had another room set up that was for all the horror host guests. In the past, they've had them all crammed into a corner. This time, they had their own room to themselves. It was nice. So you had the main room for the vendors and some people. Feldman. I probably always get those two mixed up because in preparation for seeing Feldman, I did watch Lost Boys 2 and 3. So I'll probably kick my reviews of those in a little while. The room with the masks, and the room for the horror guests. It was actually in like 4 different rooms as opposed to everything crammed into one. Fantastic job. Thank you, Horrorhound. This was an absolutely amazing one. And I wish that some of the lines had been shorter, but that is what it is.